You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. Man, we are here once again. And man, today we have another show lined up for y'all today. Man, we have a special guest and it's all about her amazing new financial podcast, Other People's Pockets. So we're about to go in other people's pockets this morning. We have the one and only Maya Lau here on the show today. First and foremost, I want to say thank you for your time. I know you're busy. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
So I appreciate you being on here. I listened to a couple of episodes. Very interesting how people kind of share their personal story with money and how they grew up. What's some of the things that you learned so far, how people and how open they are and transparent and kind of sharing their way they're, brought up and how they have their relationship with money?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think makes my show different is I actually ask people straight up, how much money do you make and what's your net worth and stuff like that. And the thing, they'll share that, which is always illuminating. But often what's interesting is hearing about how they grew up around money, because everybody has a story about their upbringing, even if, or maybe especially if money was not explicitly talked about in the home. Kids learn everything. Kids take in everything and they know what's going on. And so hearing what people learned as a child about money has always been really interesting. And, I think it's just one of the things that's so interesting about this topic. Like on the one hand, money feels so basic, but it also is so universal because we all have to have money. So everybody has a story and everybody has kind of a weird relationship with money. Some people are pretty comfortable talking about it, but will still stammer, and there will be little pauses around when they actually share how much they make. So yeah, it's been a really interesting ride to hear how people deal with it because we're all just figuring it out.
And as a former award-winning investigative reporter from LA Times and Advocate newspaper in Louisiana, I mean, you spent years with being a journalist. As far as like learning from the different perspectives of your guests so far, what kind of sticks out as far as like what people are willing to do to earn the money?
Yeah, I think that some people are motivated by money. Some people aren't. Some people. I often ask people the question of what does enough look like to you? And in my head, that's kind of a money question. It's like, is there an amount that's enough? And some people really answer the question differently. And they are like, oh, well, I have enough. I have family and friends who love me, and I have, enough abundance in my social life and stuff like that. So that's been interesting. But in terms of coming from, traditional reporting, I covered criminal justice for most of my newspaper career. And that's something that is incredibly important, but also, very depressing at times. And frankly, isn't something that a lot of people want to talk about at length, or it's not always a fun conversation. But learning, nonetheless, that you need to just try to make people comfortable. And there's a difference between being, when I would talk to a public official in those capacities, like, kind of sticking it to them and being really direct and, you need to give me an answer, versus what I try to do on this show is a little more friendly and is a little more like, this is a hard topic. And, I just want to let you know that I'm really just curious. I'm not here to judge you. I think trying to make people feel comfortable. I mean, that's something I had to, and I'm sure you do the same. Try to get people to open up. So, it's just practicing this on a different topic.
We're talking to Maya Lau. She's the host of the financial podcast, Other People's Pockets. And man, the show that you did with Carmen Gonzalez, I thought that was very interesting when she discussed
great.
Her parents, the dad and the mom, and their relationship with money. Because Do you think that that kind of influence the children when they grow up, how they look at money based on how their parents looked at money?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, people either kind of go in the opposite direction of their parents, or they end up mimicking their parents. Yeah, the person I interviewed, Carmen Gonzalez, she was undocumented for many years living in LA and actually just recently became a citizen, but is making around $900 a month. That's the total of what she makes. And she is in her early 20s. She lives with her parents. And they really have a philosophy of, if there's enough for us, there's enough for everyone. And whenever she is putting together her cart on Amazon, it's like, does anyone else want something? Put something in the cart. I just got paid. You don't have to pay me back. There's an understanding of a communal feeling around money, and that it's not about making a ton of money. It's about having that community, having that support. That is more, she said that she feels very privileged, even in the context of her situation, which it's hard when you're undocumented. I mean, literally, you can't get a normal job, right? You can't be on a normal payroll. But she feels very privileged because she has her community, and she has what she needs. And so there's different ways, I think, of looking at the question of what is enough.
Very interesting podcast, man. When people listen to this, what do you hope that they can learn from everyone's personal story about their relationship with money?
I hope that people will learn that you can, in your own life, ask other people what they make. Often it's in the context of when you're trying to negotiate your salary, or maybe you have a new job offer and you're trying to negotiate and get more money. I hope that people feel like it's a little bit more normal to say, hey, can I ask you about your money? Or can I at least tell you what I'm making? And we can have a conversation around if that seems like a reasonable rate, or if it seems like I'm being underpaid or what, so that, we can all get paid more. I think that it's often an awkward conversation just because we're not used to having it. But just like sex was or is often, but certainly like 50 years ago, people didn't talk about sex as openly. I think there's more of an understanding that we need to talk about actual dollar amounts and money more openly. So I hope that people can take that away and apply it in some way to their own life to hopefully get paid more.
We've been talking to our guest today, Maya Lau, the host of the financial podcast, Other People's Pockets. You can follow her on Twitter at Maya Lau, or go visit her website, mayalau.com. I want to say thank you again, taking time in your busy schedule talking to us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.